So, we're about to dive into a pretty incredible story. A story about a cosmic force that was born from a moment of, believe it or not, divine anger. But this is a power that didn't just shape the universe, it also animates the very core of our being. This is the story of the 11 Rudras. When we think about how creation started, we often imagine something kind of quiet, right? Gentle, maybe. But what if it wasn't like that at all? What if, as this image suggests, creation didn't begin with a whisper, but with an almighty roar? What if a powerful, vibrational force was the real starting point for everything we see? And this is the central question we're going to explore. How on earth does a single, intense emotion travel all the way from a cosmic origin story right down to an echo inside you and me? The answer? Well, it reveals a pretty mind-blowing connection between the universe and ourselves. Okay, so to get the whole anger thing, we first have to understand the plan. In the beginning, creation wasn't just some chaotic accident. No, it was a structured process, like a divine blueprint, guided by three fundamental forces. Think of it like a divine project team. First up is Shiva. He has the initial idea, that divine spark, the will to create. Next, Vishnu, the sustainer, takes that will and shapes it into a solid plan, the knowledge of how it's all going to work. And finally, you've got Brahma, the creator. He's the one who takes that plan and puts it into action, actually manifesting the universe. A perfect cosmic assembly line, right? So, Brahma gets to work. He's ready to start his task of creation. But just as the project gets underway, the whole perfectly made plan just hits a wall. The entire cosmic enterprise is suddenly stopped in its tracks by a totally unexpected act of defiance. And right here is where our story truly ignites. The creative process is facing a massive crisis. And from this crisis, a powerful, untamable energy is about to be unleashed. So here's what happens. Brahma creates four beings, the Kumaras, straight from his own mind. He tells them, all right, go out there and populate the universe. Continue my work of creation. But they refuse, flat out. They're dedicated to a life of pure spirituality, and they defy their creator's direct command, bringing the whole project to a screeching halt. I mean, can you just imagine the frustration? The great cosmic architect, whose entire purpose is to create, is blocked at the very first step. Brahma feels this huge wave of anger just welling up inside him, but he knows he can't just let it consume everything, so he tries to suppress it, to hold it back with all his might. But an energy this powerful, it can't be contained. In a flash, all that suppressed rage just bursts forth from between his eyebrows, and it takes on a life of its very own. A new being is born, not from a plan, but from pure, raw, cosmic emotion. And this being is, well, it's unlike any other. It is a manifestation of pure cosmic sound and fury. So let's look at who, or what, this being is, and how one became many. This being is named Rudra. His name comes from Rodanam, which means roaring or weeping. But listen, this isn't about sadness. It's the sound of the universe itself vibrating into existence, a cosmic roar that clears away darkness and makes way for creation. Okay, so we have this one, incredibly powerful entity born from pure anger. But the story doesn't end with a single Rudra. It talks about many. So the question is, how did we get from 1 to 11? That single force of cosmic vibration actually differentiated itself into 11 distinct forms, each with its own power, its own purpose, and its own place in the cosmos. And these are the Ekadasha Rudras, the 11 Rudras. And here's where it gets really, really interesting. Where do these 11 forces actually live? See, they aren't in some distant heaven. They are everywhere in the cosmos all around us, and more importantly, right here inside of us. So get this, the Rudras inhabit every single fundamental aspect of existence, from the big celestial players like the sun and moon, down to the 5 elements, sky, wind, fire, water, earth. And then it gets even more personal. The very life force, or prana, austerity and focus, the heart, and even our senses that allow us to experience this world. They are the animating principles of reality itself. And here it is, the core message, laid out plain and simple. The universe is a mirror of you. The sun and moon in the sky correspond to our eyes and mind. The 5 great elements correspond to our 5 senses. That cosmic vibration that is Rudra is the very same life force, the prana, that's flowing through you right now. The entire cosmos is reflected right inside our own bodies. And each of these 11 Rudras isn't alone. They're paired with a Shakti, their divine feminine counterpart that represents a specific power. For instance, Manivu, who is related to that initial divine will, is paired with Dihi, the power of intellect. Manu, the principle of thought, is paired with Vritti, our patterns of behavior, and Ma Kala, great time itself, is paired with Ashana, the power of consumption and transformation. It's a whole complete system of forces and functions.
Okay, all of this builds to the final, and I think most important piece of the puzzle. Why does this ancient story matter to us right here, right now? How can we recognize this cosmic force in our own lives?
Because here's the thing, the Rudras aren't just characters in a story. They represent the fundamental principles of vibration and energy that make life possible. From the spinning of galaxies to the firing of neurons in your brain, it's all animated by this Rudra principle. This ancient verse just captures it perfectly. Yo Rudra Agnau, Yo Rudra Vishva Purana Vivesha, Tasmai Rudraya Namawastu. It basically means, to that Rudra who has entered into the fire, who has entered into the entire universe, to him we bow. It's a beautiful recognition that the same force present in fire, in water, in the plants, is the very same force that pervades everything. It's an acknowledgement of this deep underlying unity. So how do you experience this? It's simpler than you might think. That rhythmic pulse you can feel in your wrist, that's the Rudra in your heart. The very fact that you can hear my voice, that ability is enabled by a Rudra. The natural warmth of your body is the Rudra as fire. And that focused will, that inner drive to get something done, that is the Rudra as tapas, a force of focused energy. And so, the map from the cosmos to your own self is laid out. Now that you know the story, the question becomes a personal one. Can you feel it? Have you recognized these powerful, divine forces of vibration and will roaring quietly right now within you?